Grading copper can be a little intimidating. However, once you know what to look for, you will find that it is fairly easy. After watching this short video, you should be able to tell the difference between the different grades and how to separate them to maximize your earnings like a pro. There are 4 basic types of copper: bare bright, number 1, number 2, and finally, sheet copper, also referred to as light copper. Bare bright is typically the highest priced copper. It is stripped copper wire or cable that is just the way the name sounds, bare and bright. Of course, it can't be as easy as saying it is just stripped wire. There are a few exceptions. The individual strands must be at least a 14 gauge, which is roughly the size of a pencil lead. Allow me to reiterate that it is the individual strands and not the wire as a whole. Take a look at these 2 pictures. Both wires are roughly the same gauge as a whole. However, the individual strands of the wire on the left are considerably larger than the strands on the right. A lot of people are confused by this and think, well, isn't copper copper? Well, anything regarding scrap, you have to think about the actual recycling process and the melting of the material back down. If you were to take 100 pounds of the material on the left and throw it into a pot to melt it back down, then you would be left with 100 pounds of copper. However, if you were to take 100 pounds of the number 2 copper on the right and throw it into the same pot, some of the smaller strands would actually vaporize, and you may only get back 98 pounds, or something less than 100. Another example of stripped wire that is not bare bright is tin or silver coated wire. Bare bright has to be free of any coatings whatsoever, so this again would be considered a number 2 copper. The next highest kind of copper is number 1. This is clean copper that does not have any kind of paint, solder, or any other contamination. Number 1 copper can be pipe, tubing, or wire. Remember, bare bright must be bare and bright, like the wire on the left. If the wire is thicker than a 14 gauge and does not have any kind of coating on it, but still isn't bright and shiny, then it is considered number 1 copper. The third type of copper is called number 2. This is copper that has any kind of paint, solder, or heavy corrosion. It also includes the wires that we talked about before, the ones where the strands were smaller than a pencil lead, or have some kind of tin or silver coatings. Number 2 cannot contain any other kind of metal, such as brass, which is the most common. If you want to get the most money, then it would benefit you to cut the brass off of any of your copper. The final grade of copper is called sheet copper, or light copper. This one is pretty easy and consists of copper downspouts, gutters, trim coil, or any other kind of copper sheets. Well, that wraps us up on how to grade copper. I hope that you got a lot out of this video. You should now be able to sort your copper like a pro and maximize your earnings. If you have any questions or comments, please give us a call at 757-723-0757 or email us at office@olddominionmetals.com. Thank you for watching.